scrolling online and stumbled across a video that just gets under your skin? You know, one that leaves you feeling a little weird, a little unsettled. Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain on a viral channel that has absolutely perfected the art of manufacturing fear. This isn't random spooky stuff. We're talking about a precise, rule-based formula that is specifically designed to engineer dread. Let's start the deconstruction. And here it is. This one sentence, pulled directly from the channel's own internal style guide, is the key to everything. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. The foundational principle. Every single topic, it doesn't matter what it is, has to be filtered through this lens of fear or the unknown. This is their prime directive. So here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at the overall formula. Then, we'll define the channel's core identity, what makes it tick. After that, we'll examine the insane constraints they work under, dissect the very specific rules for crafting the nightmare, and finally, look at the emotional result that's been engineered from the very beginning. The channel in question is called Dark Paradox, and if you've ever fallen down this particular rabbit hole, you know the style. It's fast, it's dark, and it is deeply unsettling. Their videos feel less like something you'd watch for fun and more like, urgent warnings beamed back from a really bleak future. So let's get into how they build this atmosphere. And that's really the big mystery, isn't it? How do they do it? How do they bottle this very specific brand of horror and just deliver it perfectly every single time in under a minute? Well, the answer, as we're about to see, has a lot less to do with artistic inspiration and a whole lot more to do with cold, hard, industrial-style rules. Okay, let's get to the philosophical heart of this machine. To really get their content, you have to understand the specific worldview they are required to project. It's all built on two key concepts, taken right from their own playbook. First up, cosmic horror. Now, this isn't about cheap jump scares. This is a much deeper, more intellectual kind of fear. It's that chilling realization that we are just tiny, completely insignificant specks in a massive, uncaring cosmos. The horror here comes from feeling utterly powerless. And they pair that feeling with a heavy dose of nihilism. This rule basically dictates a tone that suggests everything we believe in, all our values, it's all meaningless, that our existence is just fundamentally without purpose. It's an incredibly bleak and menacing philosophy, designed to drain all the hope out of the story. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. This is how they define the final product. It's the emotional cocktail they want you, the viewer, to drink. They take these amazing, fascinating, scientific concepts, but they present them in a way that generates pure, unfiltered dread. It's basically learning, but weaponized to create anxiety. So they've got their grim philosophy down, but how do they inject it so effectively? The secret, it turns out, is in the extreme and totally unforgiving constraints of the format itself. This is where the engineering really kicks into high gear. 60 seconds. Not 61. Not 62. The style guide hammers this home. It is a strict rule. This time limit isn't a friendly suggestion. It's a creative cage. It forces every single choice, every word, every image to be ruthlessly efficient at delivering that one intended emotion. There's literally no time for anything else. And within that minute, the pace is just relentless. A single visual cannot stay on screen for more than 5 seconds. This creates this frantic, almost subliminal viewing experience. You don't have time to consciously process or question what you're seeing. You're just hit with a constant barrage of unsettling imagery. And the script itself becomes this crazy exercise in compression. You get about 140 words. That's it. You have to explain a complex idea, establish a terrifying tone, and leave a lasting impact. Every single word has to pull double duty, just loaded with dread and mystery. All right, let's get into the really granular stuff, the specific rules for what you actually see and hear. This is the blueprint for the nightmare, and believe me, it is incredibly specific. First off, the script. You'll notice there are no friendly intros. No, hey guys, no, did you know? The rules explicitly forbid it. The narration has to start instantly with a hook that plunges you directly into the unsettling idea. There's no warm-up, just cold, immediate dread. The visual instructions are just as rigid. Everything has to be hyper-realistic, super cinematic. They have a very specific aesthetic. Dark, empty space, foggy forests, digital glitches that make it feel like something is wrong with the video itself, scary silhouettes, and of course those signature neon red text overlays. No cartoons, nothing that could break the grim reality they're building. And the audio has to match perfectly. It's always a single narrator, always a deep, serious voice. But the most important rule is that last one. The voice must sound like a warning. The narrator isn't supposed to be a teacher. They're a harbinger of doom, telling you something terrible that you absolutely need to know.
And their required output format just reveals how mechanical this whole process is. They break down video creation into a simple, repeatable table: timestamp, script, and AI image prompt. It's like an assembly line for cosmic horror, making sure every single video is built from the exact same parts.
So, what happens when you put all of these pieces together? Well, you get something that isn't just content. You get a machine, and that machine is designed to produce a very specific emotional response. This chart really connects all the dots. The strict 60-second length, that's to trap your attention. The rapid 5-second visual changes, that creates a frantic, uneasy feeling. The warning tone from the narrator, that's to make you feel like you're in danger. And the dark, glitchy art, that directly evokes cosmic dread. Every rule has a purpose, and that purpose is to make you feel afraid. So by deconstructing this channel, we're left with this final kind of haunting question. We've just looked at a system so precise, so repeatable, that it feels less like filmmaking and more like psychological engineering. It is incredibly effective, no doubt about it. But it leaves you wondering, when you can build an emotion from a blueprint, where does the art end and the engineering begin?